Shalom. This is Mary Omni from the World Government House of King David, Holy Covenant Constitutional Enforcer. This is Republic Notice. The title of this Republic Notice is called Shirley Sherrod Incident Reveals Truth of Black Men. Shirley Sherrod Incident Reveals Truth of Black Men. Now, the incident has been over with for more than a year. I mean, it was over with when in President Obama's last term. Now, the fact that I felt as though I need to still talk about it is because it wasn't enough discussion to me amongst women about what happened to Shirley Sherrod. I mean, yes, the media blew it up for a while, but after that, black women dropped the ball and did not have any kind of real intelligent forum about what had occurred with her. And this is why black women needed to have an intelligent forum, because here we had this woman working for the USDA, Rural Development, and they seek, as the media always seek, to propagandize and to blaspheme black women, who are the woman seed and who are the constitutional supremacy clause, whether Americans want to admit that or not. See, they're cons in America, so they don't want to respect our constitutional republic. They rather go ahead and delusion the majority of whites and pretend it don't exist. But nevertheless, Shirley Sherrod is a constitutional citizen, and she's a supremacy clause citizen, which means she's the first receiver of the 14th, because the 14th was received by the black woman first, since she has to give birth to all persons born. And everyone know that the slaughterhouse case proved in 1873 that this was a Negroid amendment. You know, the fact that they gave them a fake one outside of constitutionality of what you call due processing of debt doesn't change the fact that 3/5 couldn't consent to the 14th. They inherited it. So it's a supreme contractually Fort Knox non-consented 14th birthright amendment. All the others claiming it are nothing but tramplers and in corporate doctrine done contractors without any constitutionality. They contract under corporate doctrines to help with the thieving and the stealing of it. Okay. Now, getting back to Shirley Sherrod, you know, how she was treated was like a criminal. They told her to pull aside of the road because they were scared of media propaganda. Now, and we blame President Obama. Yeah, he's the ultimate accountable one. But we can also look at who was at the head of USDA, Rural Development, who told her to just pull on the side of the road and quit. But this is not the crust of this video. What I want to get to is how the black men responded to all this. And the reason we have to talk about this is because these black men responded to it, are supposed to be some of the most intelligent we have, and they were married to black women. So they wasn't like black men that was not with black women. They was actually with black women, the ones that I know. And they responded in an attack on Shirley Sherrod. Now, let me tell you why this attack is so significant. First of all, they're attacking Shirley Sherrod as if she's not the constitutional supremacy and as if this is not her land. Okay, they attacked her as if she was not doing an equal distribution of the land. But the land was Fort Knox and sealed by the time the 15th Amendment came, and that was 1870. So all these organizations that think they can divvy constitutional land to immigrants and people who came later and people who are not of the constitutional republic. That means not of the 1 through 15th Amendments. They pretend that they can all get USDA loans, this and that. This is part of the bankers' fraud and dreams. This is part of the Ponzi schemes. Because what most of these people are is U.S. corporate contractors, which means they're outside the constitutionality, because King Yeshua rode in on a mule in 1871. And that mule is called the U.S. Corporation. It is what blacks inherited with their 40 acres. And that protects the constitutional land, wealth, intellectual property, resources, amendments, and everything 1 through 15, and keep 1 through 15 Fort Knox and Supreme contract of the land. It's called the Constitutional Supreme Republic, and it's equal to the Supremacy Clause, or twin to the Supremacy Clause of the land. And so, first of all, so these black men came out so much in defense of Babylon. And so what it showed me is that these black men are quick to defend anything other than a black woman. I never see them jump out in a defense of the black woman, like they was defending this white farmer that Shirley Sherrod supposed to have cheated. Even though this white farmer is on Shirley Sherrod birthrights, pretending the birthrights belong to him, he's on her land and everything, and she wanted to treat him as the corporate doctrine mule. Legislators and the majority public who trampled the republic set it up for her to treat him as if he was equally and fair and entitled, which is not true, because the Constitution holds the land wealth. And just because you come to a country don't make you equally entitled to birthrights, land wealth. And even if you've been in the country, if you are not part of the constitutional republic, but you're just a contractor with a U.S. corporate mule, the mule doesn't have one amendment. So that doesn't mean you have any constitutional rights, equality to land, birth, or anything. Okay? Because the majority of so-called Americans is U.S. corporation contractors. In 1871, the mule was the demarcation point. And that meant anybody who came after 1871 are nothing but U.S. squatters. So the whole system wants to pretend that U.S. squatters got a right to, constitutional republic wealth, because the criminals know that this wealth is not theirs. So they'll be willing to divvy it to anybody just to steal it themselves. So to steal it themselves, they said it belongs to everybody, because we can see with these elite criminal behaviors, they don't want to let go of nothing. So this wasn't in truth their wealth to divvy, because if it was their wealth to divvy, it wouldn't have been divvied to nobody, because they wouldn't have gave it to nobody. So the fact that it had such easy distribution and telling everybody to come, bring your poor, you're free, long to be free, they wasn't giving away nothing there was theirs. They was trampling other people's property. And that's why, you can always be free with someone else's wealth, someone 400 years human capital investment. You can be free as all get out. It belongs to the world. It belongs to the world, because you didn't have no blood investment in it. It's not your human capital investment. So you just trample it because you don't feel as though you're losing nothing. So you feel as though if you can get somebody to help you trample, then you can embezzle and larceny as much as you want. And so that's how the whole system is set up. So when these men attacked Shirley Sherrod, they attacked her on the basis of, you're not letting him embezzling like he should. You're not letting him larceny like he should. With Shirley Sherrod was going along with the system. That Brett, whatever his name is, that white guy, I can't even think of his name. He passed away now. He went and perpetrated a fraud and put it on the video as if she was discriminating against this white U.S. squatter of incorporate doctrines. And she was not discriminating. So even though in truth he has no constitutional rights, she was not basing anything on him not having any constitutional rights. She was pretending, you got the right to this, you got the right to that, because I'm under the USDA and I work for them and this is their protocol that you have the equal rights to that, so I'm going to help you as much as I can. And so these black men married to black women, Roland Martin, Boyce Watkins, the NAACP, they were so quick to jump out of their chests and defend the public. They was the public defenders against the republic. Here they with black women. But they, if they was, really understood that they was supposed to be put here to protect their nation of black women, not just the ones they sleep with, they would have said that Shirley Sherrod is innocent until she's proven guilty. But instead, they was quick. They was quick to attack her. They was quick to attack her. And they was quick to call her guilty. They was quick to publicly stone her like the public. And here she is, the republic, and she been struggling because they've been squatting on all her resources and land, and they hung her father to make sure he didn't have access, took his life. And she's been struggling and trying to do things the right way to just get her constitutional assets and her wealth and her land that her ancestors left her. And so she wanted to work in the agency that is owned by her constitutionally, because anything dealing with land is owned by constitutional citizens. The Constitution, no national and black American citizens, is the only one contracted to the land, and they non-consenters. 3/5 couldn't consent, but they became citizens anyway. Small c, not in corporate doctrine citizens. They became citizens anyway, which means that land is contracted, married to them lock, stock, and barrel. And all jurisdictions, as said in 1866, with automated contractual reinforcement rights. So the conclusion is, what that teaches us is that the black man is programmed to attack his woman before he defend her, to attack those like his mother before they defend her, to attack those like his wife before they defend her, to come against them first, to say they're guilty until proven innocent first. That means that they will side with the public easy. And what this means is that as the King David rule government moves in, as the public system of Mystery Babylon fall, because the public is Mystery Babylon, and it cannot sustain debt because the Constitution has no debt. That's where Shirley Sherrod is. And the public cannot sustain its debt. It's just stealing and embezzling constitutional wealth, because constitutional wealth is regenerating because non-consent is in the contract, which means that it regenerates wealth because it non-consents to debt. So it has debt-free regenerating wealth that went around the world, and they just keep on taking the cream of this constitutional wealth. And what they do is try to cover their corporate doctrine debt. They embezzle and larceny, and they're in conflict of interest because they are really at war with the constitutional republic, but they talk this patriotic and get these soldiers to swear to the Constitution while they work for globalists that keep on embezzling the cream from the Constitution. So now what this tells us is that black men are poorly indoctrinated. They are poorly indoctrinated, and they have an instinct, a trained, piss-branded instinct, a patriarchal, indoctrinated, branded instinct to attack their nation first, and to say their nation is wrong before anyone else. And this means that we must move women into government positions. The black man is flawed. You know, it has to come to a consciousness raising. I think Nibiru has to come in, and Nibiru asks her, is you ribbon? Because if you ribbon and you got a woman, Nibiru may be able to do something with you. So these men had black women. Nibiru may be able to do something with them. But, you know, they're kind of, they think they're intelligent, but they really hold no critical thinking. They hold no critical thinking, just like Boyce Watkins telling President Obama, you are our president. You are our president. No, Boyce Watkins, President Obama, no, you have contractual supremacy that you don't know you have. And they know, and he knows he's not your president because he knows you're under the rule of King David and you got just as much contractual authority as him. See, Boyce Watkins, you don't know as much as you think. And, you know, you're black, your world, you need to constitutionalize your world so you can come up to par. Then you won't be jumping to attack Shirley Sherrod while you're pretending that you about your black nation. Okay? And see, this is the NAACP men, and Roland Martin, he kept going on and on and on and on with her, because then his ego came in. And he did not want to be wrong. And he was arguing with this woman who had been scraped over the coals. You know, I pray for these men and I pray for these women, because these men are sick even when we think they're intelligent. Even when we think they're intelligent. And that's why you, the black woman, is the supremacy clause. And that's what you should learn, and don't ever forget. These men will never get a chance to F up if you understand you the supremacy clause. And you must be on alert to checkmate them at all time as we move into understanding who we are as the woman seed in our government. You was made the supremacy clause because of their flaw. This is Mary Omni from the house of King David. Shalom.